everyone. Let's talk one of my favorite subjects, puppies. I mean, who doesn't love puppies, right? Okay, let's talk more specifically puppies and socializations. So, you get a new puppy, you bring puppy home, raise your hand if you have been told or if you went on the internet and did some research that the best way to socialize a puppy is to expose them to as many people and as many places and as many dogs as possible. We've all heard you have to expose your dog, and this also goes for dogs too, not just puppies, but it's mostly pertaining to puppies. We've all heard the idea that in order to properly socialize your dog, you have to expose them to 10 different dogs every single day for, I don't know, maybe a week. Okay, one, that is utterly exhausting. How are you supposed to find 10 dogs each day to expose your dog to for 1 week? And also, guys, that's just too many dogs. That is too much stuff going on. So everyone thinks that socialization is just making sure that you take your puppy everywhere. Oh my gosh, let's just take our puppy in the car, and we'll take them to Lowe's, and we'll take them to Home Depot, and we'll take them to PetSmart, and we'll take them to the dog park. And oftentimes babies aren't fully vaccinated yet. So we want to make sure that we're being safe. So we want to make sure our babies are mostly vaccinated before we start exposing them to situations where they're going to be around a ton of other dogs and a ton of other people. So we want to make sure they're safe. But that doesn't mean that for fear of our puppies picking up some, sort of disease or anything like that, that we just shut them up in the house and we don't take them places and we don't let them interact with other people and other dogs. But it's going to be a fine line. So socialization is not exposing them to everything all at one time. And it's not just exposing them to people and dogs. Socialization is exposing them to a variety of new things. So it's going to be different environments, different sights, different sounds, different smells, different textures. And by textures, I mean, walking around on grass versus walking around on a flat surface versus walking around on a hardwood floor. So it's all sensory stimulation, so that would be tactile, but sensory stimulation also going back to the sights, the sounds, the smells, exposing them to all types of different people as well. So tall people, short people, males, females, children, people using assistive equipment such as wheelchairs, walkers, canes, things like that, people wearing hats, people wearing sunglasses, people who are very friendly, people who are not very friendly, same with other dogs. We want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that is positive and lost my train of thought. We want to make sure we're doing it in a way that it's positive and productive for our puppy, because our puppies are very young and impressionable. We want to make sure that they're having positive experiences, because you could have 9 positive experiences and then we have 1 super negative experience or a scary experience where they didn't like something, and then that can negate all of the positive experiences. So socialization is a lot of things, but it doesn't have to be done all in one day, all at the same time, and all outside of the home. So in order to get your dogs used to moving vehicles, so bikes, scooters, skateboards, maybe introduce them to one in the house so it's not as scary when they see one for the first time out on a walk. You can be like, oh, I've actually seen this before and it's not actually as scary as I thought it was. What we want to prevent is flooding. So flooding is actually a psychotherapy technique that is used a lot for people, and it does have successful results. So basically it's taking whatever phobia or fear that you have. So say you're scared of spiders, and it is forcing you to confront that fear, okay? So no escape. So you're just like, hey, here's a bunch of freaking spiders, and you're just gonna have to deal with it, and you're gonna have to push through the fear and get to a place where you are actually more relaxed and comfortable. Okay, that's great, and that might work for people, but the difference between it working for people and not necessarily working for dogs or even being the best idea is a lot of things. So one is consent. Nobody asked the dog if this was okay with them. So with people, you can ask them like, hey, is it okay that we're gonna do this? we're gonna throw you in a room with a bunch of freaking spiders. You cool with that? Cool, all right, let's go. Also, 2, dogs have no idea what's coming at them. We are just gonna put them in a situation, so they're terrified of someone on a bike, or they've never seen, someone on a bike before, and we are forcing them to interact with it, so we're making a negative experience. That's not a positive experience. So we wanna make sure everything is positive. And that's why flooding doesn't necessarily work very well with dogs. I suppose it could work in certain situations, but we also want to make sure that we are not fueling the fear or the trigger or the stimulus. And we also want to make sure that we are instilling trust and confidence in our dogs, but also in you. If you are continually exposing them to things that they are scared of or things that they have never seen and they're unsure of, and you're like, no, it's okay. You have to let this strange lady put their hands all over you. That's totally fine. It's really not going to instill a lot of confidence or trust in you. So let's make sure that we're protecting our puppies and our adult dogs. Let's make sure we're protecting them and we're not going too fast. So we have lots of time to expose them to different things, and we always want to keep it positive in nature. So the more positive experiences that we can have, and also pairing that with a more positive experience, a food reward, something like that, is going to be way more beneficial in the long run. And it's going to take a little bit longer, but then you're not going to scare the bejesus out of your puppy and force them to do things that they're not ready for.